fantasy owners, LTC Fantasy here. Not sure if you're chiming in watching via YouTube or listening via podcast, but really do appreciate the watch or listen no matter how you're streaming the episode. Before we get started, do want to mention we do have a partnership with 247clash.com. Link is down in the description there. It's basically a pools type player versus player fantasy game that's pretty much made winnable for anyone there. So if you do decide to check out www.247clash.com. When you get to the homepage, at the top of the homepage, there is a how to play link. It shows you a quick 50-second video, explains the game a little bit better than I can. And if you do sign up, do use referral code LTC, as that will help out our show behind the scenes there, while also giving you the opportunity to win some cash there. And do note, it is for Canadian residents only at this time. Might change in the future, but for right now, it is for Canadian residents only. So today's our week 23 weekend ads episode. So we're going to break down this weekend schedule there and suggest players to hopefully help strengthen your fantasy roster as you make a push for the win, more than likely in a playoff matchup right now in your leagues. Some things to note. Typical light night, Friday, only 3 games. Saturday, a ton of games, 15 games. And Sunday, light again at 5 games there. So we will focus on Friday and Sunday, as those are the lightest nights there. We will mention players from teams that play on Saturday, but play either Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. That way you get 2 games out of those players if you can squeeze them on your roster there. So we will cover Anaheim and Colorado first, as those are the 2 teams that do play Friday and Sunday. That way you get both light nights out of them. And then we will cover teams that play Friday, Saturday, followed by teams that play Saturday and Sunday. So basically, we'll get right into it. Some demon that get both light nights being Friday and Sunday. Start off in Arizona. Maybe look at Juuso Välimäki. Owned in 14% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing top pairing, top power play unit. And he has 7 points his last 4 games. So on a nice little roll. Plus 4 in those 4 games. 12 shots on goal. So averaging 3 shots a game. Nice amount of shots for a D-man. 4 hits and 6 blocks in that short stretch too. So he's been producing and should be a really good streaming option with having both light nights. Another one in Arizona, maybe look at Victor Soderstrom. 0% owned, so available everywhere. He's on the 3rd pairing, 2nd power play unit, and he has 5 points the last 9 games, so a little over half point per game there. And in those 9 games, he also has 16 shots on goal, 9 hits, and 16 blocks, so really nice amount of blocks for the young guy. He has okay offense, and you could get some value streaming him in your deeper leagues. That's why I mentioned him there. Over in Colorado, maybe look at Samuel Girard, owned in 25% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing 2nd pairing, 2nd power play unit, and he has 8 points his last 11 games, couple those being on the power play, and 17 blocks in those 11 games. He's been consistent for a while. Overall, he's had a really nice second half there. He should be a very good streaming option with having both light nights. Another one in Colorado, maybe look at Bowen Byram. Owned in 63% of Yahoo leagues, playing 2nd pairing. He did get some top unit power play time with Makar out last game, so he should get some power play time, regardless 1st or 2nd unit. But he has 4 points the last 5 games, couple those being on the power play, 10 hits in those 5 games. He's on a small roll, and he is pretty decent when he is healthy, so he should be an okay option if available. Now we'll move along to some forwards that get both light nights, being Friday and Sunday. Start off in Arizona again. Look at Barrett Hayton, listed as a center, owned in 27% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit. He has 12 points in a 7-game point streak, so really nice streak. I'm recording this on Tuesday, and I believe he already got a point tonight. That game's still going on. But plus 9 in those 7 games. 4 of those points being on the power play and 22 shots on goal. It's basically as hot as it gets, and he'll be an awesome option for you, especially with getting both light nights this weekend. Another one in Arizona is Nick Schmaltz, listed as center right winger, owned in 32% of Yahoo leagues. He also plays on that top line and top power play unit, and he has 10 points his last 9 games. I believe it's 11 and 10. I think he got an assist on the goal tonight so far. 17 shots on goal and 7 blocks in those 9 games. He's been really good when healthy, and he'll be a really good option, very solid option if you do decide to stream him this weekend. Another one in Arizona is Travis Boyd, listed as center right winger, only owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing third line, but up on the top power play unit, and he has 5 points in a 4-game point streak right now. Couple of those points coming on the power play there. He's on a small roll, and he should be an okay option for you in deeper leagues this weekend. Another one in Arizona is Jack McBain, listed as a center, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 7 points the last 8 games, so nice amount of production there. And in those 8 games, he's +5. Being a plus player in Arizona is always a bonus. 32 hits in those 8 games, so definitely throws the body around. Also 8 blocks. He's been really solid of late, can be a little streaky offensively there, but he might be worth a gamble in your deeper leagues. Another one in Arizona is Matias Maccelli, listed as a left winger, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 9 points his last 8 games, and in those 8 games he's also +6 and 5 blocks in there. He's been really good recently and should be an okay streamer for your scoring leagues. Next one's over in Colorado. Look at Evan Rodriguez, listed as center, left winger, right winger, owned in 24% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, second power play unit. And he did have 3 points his last 4 games before leaving last game partway through with an upper body injury. So do check on his status. But if he is available, he should be an alright streaming option, getting ice time on that top line there. Before we do get into the next segment, do want to ask, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so. Hopefully you're getting some value out of these episodes. Hopefully it's helping you secure some wins, and that'll help us grow this channel. Also, if you're listening via podcast, give us a 5-star review, as that helps the word get out about the podcast there. And we'll get into the next segment. Some D-men that play Friday and Saturday. Start off in Buffalo. Look at Owen Power, owned in 48% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, second power play unit, and he has 4 points the last 4 games. Couple of those points being on the power play there. He's been streaky, but he is on a small roll of late, so he'll be a little bit risky, but could turn out to be an okay option. Over in Columbus, look at Nick Blankenberg, only owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing on the top pairing, but second power play unit, and he has 5 points the last 9 games. Did get an assist on Tuesday there, so that should be 6 points in 10 games. Got at least 1 point anyways. Couple points on the power play, also 13 hits in those 9 games. He's been getting okay production of late there, and should be an option for a real deep league streaming option anyways. Over in New Jersey, maybe look at Damon Severson, owned in 21% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing third pairing, second power play unit, and he has 8 points the last 9 games. Couple of those points coming on the power play, also 16 blocks in those 9 games. So he's been solid for the last few weeks here, and should be a decent option for you this weekend. For the Islanders, maybe look at Ryan Pulock, owned in 19% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, second power play unit, and he has 3 points the last 3 games, with 7 shots on goal, 4 hits, and 4 blocks in those 3 games. He's been really streaky, really up and down season for him, so there definitely is risk involved, but if you're in a pinch and in a really deep league, he might work out for you. Now we'll move along to some forwards that play Friday and Saturday. Start off in Buffalo again. Look at Victor Olofsson, listed as a right winger, owned in 10% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 3 points the last 4 games. Couple of those points coming on the power play, and 8 shots on goal in those 4 games. He's been up and down, but seems to be on the upswing recently here, so he could work out for you in a deeper league for sure. Over in Columbus, maybe look at Kent Johnson, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 5 points the last 6 games, 3 of those points being on the power play, and 13 shots on goal. He's definitely been better of late there, back up in the top 6. Should be an alright streaming option in some formats for you. Another one in Columbus is Boone Jenner, listed as a center, owned in 40% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line but on the top power play unit. He has 8 points his last 11 games. And in those 11 games, also has 39 shots on goal, 19 hits, and 9 blocks. Realistically, Jenner's okay in almost every category other than plus minus, so he'll be a very solid option for you this weekend in a Cats league. For the Islanders, maybe look at Kyle Palmieri, listed as a right winger, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line but up on the top power play unit, and he has 8 points his last 7 games, couple of those being on the power play, with 16 shots on goal and 9 hits in those 7 games. He's streaky but decent recently, so he might be worth taking a gamble on. Another one for the Islanders, Pierre Engvall, listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues. He plays top line, top power play unit, and he has 5 points in a 4-game point streak. Nice run for him. Also plus 5 in those 4 games. So he's on a small roll. It could be short-lived, knowing his offensive upside over previous years, but he is on a small roll right now, so in a real deep league, he might be taking a roll of the dice on. Another one for the Islanders is Jean-Gabriel Pageau, listed as a center, owned in 16% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line, second power play unit, and he has 4 points in a 3-game point streak since coming back from injury, and he's been good in other Cats, so he could turn out to be a decent streamer in a Cats league. Now we'll move along to some Demon that plays Saturday and Sunday. Start off in Carolina. Look at Jacob Slavin, owned in 23% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing there. He has 7 points his last 11 games. In those 11 games, he has 26 shots on goal and 12 blocks in there. He's been a bit better for a bit here and could be an okay streamer in your deeper leagues. Another one in Carolina is Brady Shea, owned in 35% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, and he has 5 points in a 3-game point streak with 7 shots on goal and 5 hits in those 3 games. He's had a hot week there. He's kind of been a little bit up and down, but he could turn out to be a nice ad for you this weekend. Over in LA, maybe look at Vladislav Gavrikov, owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing there. He has 4 points the last 7 games, and in those 7 games, plus 5, also blocked 12 shots, so definitely blocking a lot of pucks there. He's been okay with his new team, and you could get value in a deeper Cats league out of him. Over in St. Louis, maybe look at Torrey Krug, owned in 48% of Yahoo leagues, playing third pairing, top power play unit, and he has 5 points the last 6 games. And in those 6 games, he's plus 4, couple points on the power play, also 8 blocks in those 6 games. He's been a bit hit or miss this year, so he definitely is risky, but if you're in a pinch, he might work out for you this weekend. Finishing it off with some forwards that play both Saturday and Sunday. Start off in Boston. Look at Pavel Zacha, listed as center, left winger, right winger, owned in 26% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 9 points the last 11 games, and in those 11 games, he's plus 7. He's been fairly consistent, and with him, listed as center, left winger, right winger, a little easier to fit him in on such a heavy night on Saturday, and he should help you out in scoring leagues this weekend. Another one in Boston to maybe look at is Charlie Coyle, listed as a center, owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line for the Bruins, and he has 9 points the last 9 games. And in those 9 games, he has 19 shots on goal and 10 hits. With Boston resting some of their veterans since they've already clinched there, it's giving Coyle a little bit more ice time, and he is taking advantage of it. So with a little bit added opportunity in deeper formats, Coyle could provide some value for you. Over in Carolina, look at Jesperi Kotkaniemi, listed as center left winger, owned in 11% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 9 points the last 8 games. And in those 8 games, 4 of those points have been on the power play and also 11 hits in there. He's been feast or famine, really, because as all 9 of those 8 points came in 3 games, and 5 of those games were 0-point games. So he could be risky, but it could really pay off for you. Just leave him for a deeper league to take that kind of a gamble. My guts wouldn't be able to do it in a standard league. In Chicago, maybe look at Taylor Radish, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing second line, but on the top power play unit. He's been pointless the last 3 games, but he put up 7 points over the previous 4. So he is streaky, but he also is risky. And someone on Chicago needs to get some points, so possibly it is Radish. It's a gamble, but it might be worth the risk. Over in LA, maybe look at Quinton Byfield, listed as a center, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit for the Kings. He has 9 points the last 10 games, and in those 10 games, he's also +8 and thrown 13 hits, starting to use that big frame a little bit. He's been all right for a while here and should help out in your scoring leagues. Another one in LA is Philippe Dagnon, listed as a center, owned in 27% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 6 points the last 7 games, and in those 7 games, 20 shots on goal and 8 hits in there. He's usually a steady Eddie, and he should be an okay ad for a Cats league. Over in Nashville, maybe look at Philip Tomasino, listed as a right winger, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, second power play unit for the Preds there. He has 5 points his last 5 games, one of those points being on the power play. Also thrown 5 hits and 3 blocks in those 5 games. He's on a small roll, so he could work out for you this weekend in some deeper leagues. Another one for the Preds is Thomas Novak, listed as a center, owned in 11% of Yahoo leagues. He plays second line, but up on the top power play unit, and he has 7 points his last 6 games. And in those 6 games, one of those points being on the power play, 14 shots on goal and 3 blocks in there. He's been solid the last couple of weeks there. He can be a little bit streaky where he gets really hot, really cold, but seems to be back to being hot again and should be an alright option this weekend. Over in St. Louis, maybe look at Jacob Vrana, listed as a left winger, owned in 30% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit, and he has 5 points in a 4-game point streak, 3 of those being on the power play, 10 shots on goal in those 4 games. He's been getting opportunity since coming over to the Blues, and he's running with it. He's hot at the moment, and it could be a sneaky good ad for you this weekend. Another one in St. Louis is Robert Thomas, listed as center right winger, owned in 63% of Yahoo leagues. He plays on the top line, second power play unit. He's put up 12 points the last 11 games. A couple of those points coming on the power play. Thomas has been putting up points and be a really good streamer for you if he is available for your scoring leagues. Another one in St. Louis is Braden Shen, listed as center left winger, owned in 58% of Yahoo leagues. He plays third line for the Blues, top power play unit, and he has 6 points the last 5 games. A couple of those being on the power play, and he's thrown 8 hits the last 5 games. He's been heating back up, and he should be an alright streamer if he is available for you. Over in Toronto, maybe look at Kelly Yarncroc, listed as center, left winger, right winger, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, second power play unit, and he has 6 points in a 4-game point streak. And in those 4 games, he's +4, has 4 hits and a couple of blocks. He's up on the top line and producing. He's kind of loving riding Matthews' wing there, and should be a solid streaming option for you this weekend. Over in Vancouver, maybe look at Andrei Kuzmenko, listed as left winger, right winger, up to 64% owned. He plays top line, top power play unit, and he has 10 points over the last 10 games. 3 of those 10 points being on the power play. He can definitely get you points, and he'll be a very, very solid streaming option for you scoring leagues if he is available. His ownership's definitely creeping up there. And the last one in Vancouver is Brock Besser, listed as a right winger, owned in 43% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing second line, but up on the top power play unit, and he has 8 points the last 9 games, so pretty decent production. 4 of those points being on the power play, and 5 blocks in those 9 games. It's been an up and down season, so there definitely is some risk, but he could work out for you in some formats. That's it for today's episode. If you're watching via YouTube, please remember to hit like, hit subscribe, and remember that notification bell. If you're listening via podcast, please remember to give us a 5-star review. That helps spread the word about that. And don't forget to check out www.247clash.com. If you do sign up, please use referral code LTC, as that'll help us out there. And good luck in your playoff runs there, fantasy owners. We'll talk to you soon.